Don't lie to me, he whispered, his bloodied knuckles trembling as he tilted her face toward the light. Tell me his name, Luna. Tell me, and I'll make sure he never touches anyone again. If you've ever been broken and found someone who didn't run from your scars, this story is for you. Because sometimes the person who saves you is the one you never saw coming. And sometimes letting them in is the bravest thing you'll ever do. Love doesn't fix everything, but it makes the healing possible. And that's enough. Stay, subscribe, like, and comment where you are watching if you believe everyone deserves to be fought for. Now let's begin. Luna's hands were always cold. Even in summer, even when she scrubbed the marble floors of the Castellano estate until her knuckles bled, her fingers stayed numb. She'd stopped noticing years ago. Cold hands, cold floors, cold silence. She worked in the shadows, early mornings before the sun, late nights after the staff had gone. She preferred it that way, invisible. The other maids gossiped about Roman Castellano, the man who owned everything, including them. They whispered about his eyes, his violence, the way men disappeared after meetings in his study. Luna never looked at him. She kept her head down, her bruises covered, her voice small. The uniform helped. Long sleeves, high collar. No one asked questions. No one cared. That morning she was cleaning the library when she heard footsteps. Heavy, deliberate. She froze, dustcloth in hand, praying he'd walk past. He didn't. You're new. His voice was low, smooth like smoke over gravel. Luna kept her eyes on the bookshelf. No, sir. I've been here 8 months. Silence. She could feel him staring. Her skin prickled. 8 months, he repeated slowly, and I've never seen you. I work early, sir, and late. Look at me. Her heart stopped. She turned just enough, just polite, just obedient. Roman Castellano stood in the doorway, all sharp lines and dark eyes. Expensive suit, controlled power. He studied her the way someone studies a locked door, curious, calculating. What's your name? Luna, sir. He tilted his head. Luna, moon. A pause. You're too thin. Heat flushed her cheeks. She looked away. I'm fine, sir. That wasn't a question. Before she could respond, his phone buzzed. He glanced at it, jaw tightening, and walked away without another word. Luna exhaled. Her hands were shaking. Roman didn't think about the maid. He had no reason to. His world was deals, debts, and violence. When he ran the eastern seaboard from his estate, shipments, money, men who owed him things they couldn't repay. He didn't do softness, didn't do concern. But that night, sitting in his study with a glass of whiskey, he found himself replaying her face, the way she'd flinched when he spoke, the hollow look in her eyes like someone who'd learned not to expect kindness. He'd seen that look before, in mirrors, in the faces of people his father had broken. He poured another drink. Luna's brother called 3 times that week. Each time she let it ring. Each time her stomach twisted tighter. She knew what he wanted. Money. Always money. Money for debts, for mistakes, for the kind of life that crushed people like her beneath its heel. She had nothing left to give. Friday night, he showed up. She was walking home from the estate, hood pulled low. And when a car screeched to a stop beside her, the door opened. Her brother stumbled out, eyes wild, reeking of alcohol and desperation. Luna! Luna, wait! She kept walking. I need 3 grand. Just 3. I'll pay you back, I swear. You never pay me back, Eric. He grabbed her arm, hard. She gasped, pain shooting up to her shoulder where the bruise from last week still hadn't faded. Don't walk away from me, he hissed. You owe me. After everything I did for you, you've done nothing for me. His face twisted. Then his fist did. The punch caught her ribs. She crumpled against the brick wall, breath gone, vision blurring. He stood over her, breathing hard, shame and rage warring in his expression. This is your fault, he whispered. You made me do this. Then he was gone. Luna sat there for a long time, tasting copper, waiting for the world to stop spinning. Eventually, she dragged herself home, cleaned the blood, changed her shirt. hid the new bruises with the old ones. By morning, she was back at the estate. Cold hands, cold floors, cold silence. Roman saw her in the hallway Monday morning. She was carrying linens, moving quickly, eyes down. But something was off. Her steps were careful, pained. "Luna!" She stopped, didn't turn. "Come here." "I have work, sir." "Now." She obeyed, slowly. When she finally looked up, he saw it. The split lips she'd tried to cover with makeup. The way she held her ribs. His entire body went cold. "Who did this to you?" Her eyes widened. I fell, sir. The stairs." "Don't!" His voice dropped to something dangerous. "Don't lie to me." She trembled. He stepped closer, and she flinched. An instinct she couldn't hide. A Roman had killed men for less than that flinch. "Tell me," he said quietly, "who put their hands on you?" Tears welled in her eyes. She shook her head. "Luna?" "Please," she whispered. "Please just let me work." He wanted to grab her, shake the truth loose, make her understand that she didn't have to carry this alone. But he saw the terror in her eyes, not of him, of whatever, whoever, had taught her that silence was survival. So he stepped back. "You're not working today. Go to the kitchen, eat, rest." "Sir, I can't." "That's an order." She stared at him, confused, disbelieving, like kindness was a language she'd forgotten. Then she nodded and walked away. Roman stood there long after she was gone, fists clenched, fury burning through his veins. Someone had hurt her, and he was going to find out who. If you've ever hidden pain because you thought no one would care, this story is for you. Stay. You'll see what happens when someone finally refuses to look away. Luna sat in the kitchen staring at the bowl of soup the head cook had placed in front of her. "Mr. Castellano's orders," the woman said gently. "You eat all of it." Luna's throat tightened. She couldn't remember the last time someone had fed her. The soup was warm, rich, the kind of food the staff made for him, not for people like her. She took a spoonful, then another. Her ribs screamed with each swallow, but she didn't stop. Because for the first time in 8 months, someone had noticed she existed. And she didn't know if that terrified her or broke her. Roman made 3 calls. The first was to his head of security. "I want surveillance from Friday night. Every camera within 2 miles of the estate's south exit." The second was to his doctor. "Come to the estate. Tonight, no questions." The third was to Vincent, his oldest friend, and the only person he trusted with anything resembling truth. "I need you to find someone," Roman said, voice cold. "Someone who puts their hands on women." Vincent was quiet for a moment. "This business or personal? Does it matter?" "With you? Always." Roman hung up. He stood at his office window, watching the grounds below. Somewhere out there, Luna was sitting in his kitchen, eating soup, probably wondering why he cared. He didn't have an answer for her. He only knew that the sight of her split lip had triggered something primal in him, something he'd spent 20 years burying. Protection, rage, the need to stand between her and whatever had broken her. He'd built an empire on violence. But this felt different. This felt personal. Luna tried to leave after the soup. She made it as far as the corridor before dizziness hit. She leaned against the wall, breathing hard, clutching her ribs. "You're still here?" She looked up. Roman stood 10 feet away, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable. I'm going back to work now, sir." "No, you're going to see a doctor." Her eyes widened. "Sir, I can't afford—" "I didn't ask if you could afford it. I don't need—" "Luna?" He stepped closer, slowly, like approaching something wounded. "I'm not going to hurt you, but I need you to let me help." "Why?" The word came out broken. "Why do you care?" He stopped. The question hung between them, raw and honest. "I don't know," he admitted, and it was the truth. "But I do." She searched his face, looking for the lie, the angle, the catch. She'd learned young that kindness always had a price, but all she saw was controlled fury, directed at whoever had hurt her, not at her. "It was my brother," she whispered. Roman went very still. He, he needed money. I didn't have it. He gets angry when... Her voice cracked. She looked away ashamed. It's not his fault. He's going through things. I shouldn't have... Stop. She flinched. Roman closed the distance between them, his hand reaching out, then stopping, hovering near her face, asking permission. She didn't move. Gently, impossibly gently, he tilted her chin up. His thumb brushed the edge of her split lip, feather-light. Listen to me, he said quietly. It is his fault. It will always be his fault. And if he ever touches you again... His jaw clenched. He won't get the chance to regret it. Luna's breath hitched. Tears spilled over. You don't understand, she whispered. He's all I have. Then you have nothing worth keeping. The words were harsh. True. They cut through every lie she told herself. She broke. A sob tore from her throat, then another. Years of silence, of swallowing pain, of convincing herself she deserved it. All of it came flooding out. And Roman Castellano, a man who'd built his life on never showing weakness, pulled her against his chest and let her shatter. His hand cupped the back of her head. His other arm wrapped carefully around her shoulders, avoiding her ribs. He didn't speak, didn't shush her, just held her while she soaked his expensive shirt with tears. I've got you, he murmured. I've got you. Luna didn't know how long they stood there. Time felt suspended. Eventually, her sobs quieted to shaky breaths. She pulled back, mortified. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Don't apologize for being human. She looked up at him, really looked, and for the first time, she saw past the reputation, the violence, the empire. She saw someone who understood what it meant to be broken. The doctor's waiting upstairs, Roman said gently. Will you let him check you? She nodded. And after that, you're staying here tonight. Guest room. No arguments. Sir, Roman. His voice softened. Call me Roman. Her heart stopped. In 8 months, she'd never heard him ask anyone to drop the formality. Roman, she repeated, testing the name. It felt dangerous, intimate. He smiled, barely. But it was there. Come on, he led her upstairs. His hand a steady presence at the small of her back. The doctor confirmed what Roman suspected. 2 cracked ribs, severe bruising, possible concussion. She needs rest, the doctor said. No physical labor for at least 2 weeks. And if the dizziness gets worse, she'll have whatever she needs, Roman cut in. Luna sat on the guest bed, overwhelmed. The room was 3 times the size of her apartment. Silk sheets, private bathroom, windows overlooking gardens she'd only ever seen from a distance. This is too much, she said when the doctor left. Roman leaned against the doorframe. It's a room. It's your room. Guest room. I have 5. She shook her head, disbelieving. Why are you doing this? He was quiet for a long moment. Then he crossed the room, crouching in front of her so they were eye level. Because 8 months ago, you started working in my house and I never saw you. Because you've been here every day, making yourself invisible, and no one, including me, bothered to ask why. His voice roughened. Because when I asked who hurt you, you apologized, like you were the problem. Tears burned her eyes again. You deserve better, Luna. You deserve better. I'm just a maid. No. His hand covered hers. Warm, solid, real. You're not. The air between them shifted, charged. Luna's pulse hammered. She'd never been this close to him. Never noticed the scar above his eyebrow, the flecks of gold in his dark eyes, the way he looked at her like she mattered, like she was worth protecting. I don't know how to do this, she whispered. Do what? Let someone care. Roman's expression softened. Then we'll figure it out together. He stood, re-breaking the moment before it could become too much. Get some sleep. Tomorrow we'll deal with your brother. Fear flashed across her face. Please don't. I'm not going to kill him, Roman said, though his tone suggested he'd considered it. But he's going to understand that you're under my protection now, and what that means. Luna wanted to argue, to tell him it would only make things worse. But God help her, she was so tired of fighting alone. Okay, she whispered. Roman nodded. He started to leave, then paused at the door. Luna? Yes? You're safe here. I need you to believe that. She looked at him, this dangerous man who'd somehow become her shelter. I'm starting to. The smallest smile touched his lips. Then he was gone. Luna lay back on the silk sheets, staring at the ceiling, her mind spinning. Everything had changed. She'd spent her whole life invisible. Now someone saw her, and she had no idea what came next. Luna woke to sunlight, real sunlight, not the pre-dawn gray she was used to, but warm golden light pouring through floor-to-ceiling windows. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then the silk sheets, the massive room, the dull ache in her ribs, it all came rushing back. Roman's guest room, Roman's protection, Roman's eyes looking at her like she mattered. She sat up too quickly. Pain lanced through her side. She pressed a hand to her ribs, breathing through it, and that's when she noticed the tray on the nightstand. Toast, fruit, tea, still warm, a note in sharp, elegant handwriting. Eat, rest, don't even think about working. Her throat tightened. She touched the note like it might disappear. No one had ever brought her breakfast. By noon, guilt was eating her alive. She couldn't just stay here. The other maids would talk. Roman had an empire to run, and she was nobody. A maid with cracked ribs and a brother who'd probably show up demanding to know why she hadn't answered his calls. She needed to leave. She needed to disappear before this, whatever this was, became something she couldn't survive losing. Luna dressed carefully, wincing with each movement. She'd go downstairs, thank Roman properly, and insist on returning to her apartment. Clean break. Simple, except when she opened the bedroom door, Vincent was standing in the hallway. Tall, scarred, the kind of man who'd seen violence and become fluent in it. Going somewhere? He asked mildly. I was just... Boss said you'd try this. Vincent's expression was unreadable. Said to remind you that your ribs are cracked, you've got nowhere safe to go, and if you leave this house, he's going to be very unhappy. Luna blinked. He can't keep me here. He's not keeping you. He's protecting you. There's a difference. I don't need... Your brother came by this morning. Her blood went cold. What? Showed up at the gate demanding to see you. Drunk, loud, made some threats. Vincent's eyes hardened. Roman handled it. What does that mean? Her voice rose. What did he do? Had a conversation. Your brother won't be bothering you anymore. Luna's hands shook. You don't understand. Eric's not... He's not stable. If Roman threatened him... Roman doesn't threaten. He promises. Vincent stepped closer. Look, I've known him 20 years. I've never seen him like this. He's got half his crew running background checks, setting up protection, personally making sure you have everything you need. You think that's normal for him? I think it's dangerous, Luna whispered. Maybe, but you're safer with him than without him. And deep down, you know it. She wanted to argue, but the truth was, she did feel safer. For the first time in years, she wasn't looking over her shoulder, and that terrified her more than anything. Where is he? She asked quietly. Study, third door on the left. He'll want to see you. Luna knocked softly. Come in. She pushed the door open. Roman sat behind a massive desk, papers scattered, phone pressed to his ear. When he saw her, his expression shifted, softened. He held up one finger. 1 minute. I don't care what he wants, Roman said into the phone, voice cold. The shipment goes through Saturday, or the deal's off. A pause. And then make him understand. He hung up. Silence stretched between them. You're supposed to be resting, he said finally. Vincent said my brother was here. Roman's jaw tightened. He was. What did you say to him? He stood, moving around the desk. I told him you're under my protection, that if he comes near you again, if he calls you, if he so much as thinks about you, he'll answer to me. Roman, I also paid off his debts. Luna froze. What? $53,000. Gambling debts, mostly. Some loan sharks. I cleared it. The room tilted. Why would you? That's not your problem. You're my problem now. He said it simply, like it was fact. And I take care of my problems. I'm not a problem. Poor choice of words. He stepped closer. You're important to me, and I protect what's important. Luna's heart hammered. Yeah, you don't even know me. Then let me. The invitation hung in the air. Dangerous. Tempting. This is insane, she whispered. 2 days ago, you didn't know I existed. Now you're paying off my brother's debts, giving me a room in your house, looking at me like… She stopped. Like what? Like I matter. You do. Why? The word broke. I'm nobody. I clean your floors. You're the first person in 10 years to make me feel something other than anger. His voice was rough, honest. You walk into a room and I notice. You smile, which is rare, and I want to know what caused it. You're in pain, and I want to burn down the world that hurt you. Luna couldn't breathe. That terrifies me, Roman continued, because I don't do this. I don't let people in. I don't care. But you… He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. Arnon, I can't seem to stop caring about you. Tears slipped down her cheeks. This is a mistake. Probably. You're a dangerous man. I am. I don't belong in your world. Maybe I don't want you in my world. Maybe I want to be in yours. The confession shattered something inside her, because she could see it in his eyes. He meant it. This man who commanded empires, who made people disappear, who lived in shadows and violence. He was offering to step into her light, if she'd let him. I don't know how to trust this, Luna whispered. I don't know how to be this, Roman admitted. But I want to try, if you'll let me. She looked at him, really looked, past the reputation, past the fear, and saw someone as lonely as she was, someone who'd survived by never needing anyone, just like her. I need time, she said. Take all you need. But take it here, safe. The other maids will talk. Let them. Your business associates don't get a vote. Luna almost smiled. Almost. You're very used to getting what you want. I am, he agreed. But this, this isn't about what I want. It's about what you need. And right now you need safety, rest, someone in your corner. His voice softened. Let me be that person. She wanted to say yes, wanted to collapse into the protection he was offering. But she'd learned young that dependence was dangerous, that people left, that caring meant losing. Okay, she whispered, I'll stay, but just until my ribs heal. Roman's eyes said he knew she was lying to herself, that once she felt safe, leaving would be impossible, but he simply nodded. Deal. The next 3 days were strange. Luna stayed in the guest room, odd venturing out only for meals. The staff whispered, but no one dared question Roman's orders. He checked on her every evening, brief visits, careful conversation, always leaving before the air between them could ignite. But the tension was building. Every look lasted too long. Every accidental touch sparked. Every moment alone felt like standing at the edge of something neither of them could name. On the fourth night, Luna couldn't sleep. Her ribs ached. Her mind raced. She kept replaying Roman's words. You're important to me. No one had ever said that before. She wandered downstairs, drawn by a light in the study. The door was cracked. She pushed it open. Roman sat in the dark, glass of whiskey in hand, staring at nothing. Can't sleep? She asked softly. He looked up. You shouldn't be out of bed. Neither should you. A faint smile. Gosh, touché. Luna stepped inside. The room smelled like leather and smoke. What are you thinking about? You. Her breath caught. I'm thinking about how I spent 20 years not caring about anyone, Roman continued. And now I can't stop wondering if you ate enough dinner, if your ribs still hurt, if you're afraid of me. I'm not afraid of you. You should be. I'm not a good man, Luna. I don't believe that. I've killed people, destroyed lives, built everything I have on violence. And yet you paid my brother's debts, fed me soup, gave me a safe place to sleep. She moved closer. Maybe you're not the man you think you are. Roman set down his glass, stood. The air between them crackled. Or maybe you're the only person who makes me want to be better. Luna's pulse thundered. She was standing too close, could smell his cologne. One see the conflict in his eyes. Roman, tell me to leave you alone, he said quietly. Tell me this is wrong. Tell me you don't feel this too. She couldn't, because she did feel it. This impossible pull. This terrifying hope that maybe, just maybe, someone could see all her broken pieces and still choose to stay. I'm scared, she whispered. Of me? Of this? Of needing you? Of what happens when... Her voice cracked. When you realize I'm not worth it. Roman's hand cupped her face. Gentle, reverent. You're worth everything. Then he kissed her, soft, careful, like she was something precious. His lips moved against hers, asking, not taking. And Luna, God help her, kissed him back. Years of loneliness poured into that kiss. Years of being invisible, unwanted, broken. And for the first time, someone was choosing her. When they broke apart, and both breathing hard, Roman rested his forehead against hers. I'm falling for you, he whispered, and I don't know how to stop. Luna's eyes burned. Then don't. If you've ever been terrified to let someone in because you're afraid they'll leave, stay with this story, because sometimes the scariest thing is the thing that saves you. The kiss changed everything, and nothing. Roman pulled back first, breathing unsteady, eyes searching hers like he was trying to memorize her face in the dim light. I shouldn't have done that, he said quietly. Luna's stomach dropped. Oh, not because I didn't want to. His thumb traced her cheekbone. Because you're healing. Because you're vulnerable. Because I don't want you to feel... He stopped, jaw clenched. I don't want you to think I expect anything. Her heart cracked open a little more. What if I wanted you to kiss me? Did you? Yes. The word hung between them, honest and raw. Roman closed his eyes. When he opened them again, there was something fierce there, protective. Then we do this right, slowly, no pressure. You set the pace. I don't know what the pace is supposed to be. Neither do I. A faint smile. We'll figure it out together. He stepped back, creating space, though she could see the effort it cost him. Get some sleep, Luna. Tomorrow, he paused. Tomorrow, I want to show you something. What? Trust me? She shouldn't. She barely knew him. But something in his eyes, something honest and aching, made her nod. Okay. Morning came with another breakfast tray, but this time Roman delivered it himself. He knocked softly before entering, carrying the tray like it was the most natural thing in the world. Luna sat up, self-conscious in the oversized shirt she'd borrowed from the dresser. You didn't have to. I wanted to. He set the tray on her lap. Fresh pastries, fruit, coffee made exactly how she liked it, though she'd never told him. She stared. How did you know I take my coffee with cream and too much sugar? I pay attention. Heat flooded her cheeks. No one's ever... I know. His voice was gentle. That's the problem. They sat in comfortable silence while she ate. Roman perched on the edge of the armchair by the window, watching her like she was something fascinating. You're staring, Luna said. I'm memorizing. Why? Because I spent 8 months not seeing you. I'm making up for lost time. Her throat tightened. She set down her coffee. Roman, why me? Really, you could have anyone. I don't want anyone. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. You want the truth? That first day in the library when you wouldn't look at me, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Most people look at me and see power or fear or something they can use. You looked at me and saw nothing. I was trying to be invisible. You were, and it made me furious, because someone like you, someone good, kind, real, shouldn't have to disappear to feel safe. His voice roughened. Then I saw your bruises and I realized you'd been disappearing your whole life, and I wanted... He stopped. What? I wanted to be the person who made you feel like you didn't have to hide anymore. Luna's eyes burned. No one had ever said anything like that to her. No one had ever looked past the survival instincts to see the girl underneath. I don't know how to be seen, she whispered. I'll teach you, if you teach me how to be gentle. The vulnerability in his voice shattered her. This man, this dangerous, powerful man, was offering her his own broken pieces. Deal, she breathed. Roman smiled. Real, unguarded. Get dressed, something comfortable. I'm taking you somewhere. 20 minutes later, Luna stood in the foyer, nervous in borrowed jeans and a sweater. Roman appeared in casual clothes. Dark jeans, a simple shirt. Without the suits, he looked younger, less untouchable. Where are we going? She asked. You'll see. He led her to the garage. Not to the sleek black cars she'd seen his associates drive, but to a motorcycle. Her eyes widened. I'll go slow. Sort of promise. He handed her a helmet. Trust me? Luna took the helmet, because despite every self-preservation instinct screaming at her, she did trust him. Roman climbed on first, then helped her settle behind him. Her arms wrapped around his waist instinctively. She could feel the solid warmth of him, the steady rhythm of his breathing. Hold tight, he murmured. Then they were moving. They rode for 30 minutes, leaving the city behind. Rolling hills, open sky, wind whipping past. Luna pressed her face against Roman's back, feeling freer than she had in years. Finally, they stopped. A cliff overlooking the ocean. No buildings, no people, just endless water and sky. Roman helped her off the bike. Her legs were shaky. From the ride or his proximity, she couldn't tell. I come here when the world gets too loud, he said quietly. No one knows about this place. Just me. And now me. And now you. He looked at her. I wanted to share it with you. They walked to the edge where the grass met open air. The ocean crashed below, wild and beautiful. Luna breathed deep. It's perfect. My mother used to bring me here. Before... He trailed off. Before what? Roman was quiet for a long moment. Then, before my father killed her. Luna's breath stopped. She turned to him, but he was staring at the horizon, jaw tight. I was 12, he continued, voice hollow. She wanted to leave him. He couldn't allow that, so he made it look like an accident. A bitter laugh. Car crash. Happens all the time, right? Roman! I knew the truth, but I was a kid, powerless. So I watched him mourn at her funeral, accept condolences, play the grieving husband. His hands clenched. And I promised myself I'd never be powerless again. Is that why you, Luna gestured vaguely, became this? Yes. He finally looked at her. My father built an empire on cruelty. I took it from him, rebuilt it, became worse than he ever was, just to prove I could. You're not worse than him. You don't know what I've done. I know what you've done for me. Luna stepped closer. I know you paid my brother's debts even though you didn't have to. I know you held me while I cried. I know you brought me breakfast and made me feel safe for the first time in my life. Her voice shook. That's not a monster. Maybe I'm a monster trying to be human. Or maybe you're a human who was forced to be a monster. And you're finally remembering the difference. Roman stared at her like she'd reached into his chest and found something he thought he'd lost. How do you do that? He whispered. Do what? See the best in people. I don't. I see the truth. And your truth is that you're more than what your father made you. He pulled her close, carefully, mindful of her ribs. His forehead rested against hers. I don't deserve you. Stop deciding what you deserve and just let yourself have this. He laughed, soft, broken, real. You're going to ruin me, Luna. Good. You ruined me first. This kiss was different, desperate, like they were both starving for connection, for proof that they weren't alone anymore. Roman's hands tangled in her hair, gentle even in passion. Luna's fingers gripped his shirt, holding on like he might disappear. When they broke apart, both trembling, Roman pressed kisses to her forehead, her cheeks, her temple. I'm falling so fast, he murmured against her skin. Tell me to slow down. What if I'm falling too? He pulled back, eyes searching hers. Are you? Luna thought about the past week, the way her heart raced when he entered a room, the way she felt safe wrapped in his arms, the way he looked at her like she hung the moon. Yes, she whispered. I'm terrified, but yes. Roman exhaled, relief and something deeper flooding his face. Then we'll be terrified together. They sat on the cliff's edge, Luna nestled against his side, his arm around her shoulders. And for hours they just talked. Roman told her about his mother's laugh, his childhood before everything went dark. Luna told him about her parents' accident, from the brother she'd lost to addiction and anger, the years of making herself small. They traded scars, literal and metaphorical. Your turn, Roman said as the sun began its descent. Ask me anything. Luna was quiet. Then, do you regret the violence? Some of it. The parts that weren't necessary. The parts I did out of anger instead of strategy. And the rest? The rest kept me alive. Kept people I care about safe. He looked at her. I'd do worse to keep you safe. Does that scare you? It should. But does it? Luna thought about her brother, about every person who'd hurt her and walked away, about spending her life invisible and unprotected. No, she admitted. It doesn't scare me. It makes me feel valued. You are valued by me, more than you know. She turned in his arms. Roman, what happens when this ends? When you get bored or realize I'm just... Stop. He cupped her face. I need you to understand something. I don't get bored. I don't move on. When I commit to something, to someone, it's absolute. His thumb stroked her cheek. I'm committed to you, Luna, if you'll have me. Even though I come with nothing? You come with everything I've been missing. Tears slipped free. Happy ones this time. I don't know how to do this. A relationship. Being cared for. Then we'll learn together. He smiled. I'm not exactly an expert either. She laughed through tears. We're a disaster. We're perfect. He kissed her again as the sun painted the sky golden pink. And for the first time in her life, Luna believed she might deserve this. This man, this safety, this love. They rode back as stars appeared. At the estate, Roman walked her to her room. At the door, he hesitated. Stay with me tonight? Luna asked quietly. His eyes darkened. Luna, just sleep. I don't want to be alone. The tension in his shoulders eased. Okay. They lay on top of the covers, fully clothed. Roman on his back, Luna curled into his side, his arm around her. Thank you, she whispered, for today, for seeing me. Thank you for letting me. She tilted her head up. Roman, I think I'm in love with you. His breath caught. For a moment he didn't move. Then he shifted, looking down at her with eyes so full of emotion it hurt. I know I'm in love with you, he said. I have been since you stood in my library and wouldn't look at me. Luna's heart soared. That's impossible. You can't fall in love that fast. Tell that to my heart. She kissed him, soft, sweet, full of promise. Now, what happens now? She asked. Now? We sleep. Tomorrow we figure out the rest. Together. Together, she repeated. It sounded like a vow. Luna woke to an empty bed. Her hand reached across the sheets, still warm. Roman had been there moments ago. She sat up, listening, and heard voices downstairs. Raised voices. Her ribs protested as she moved. But the pain was duller now. Healing. She pulled on a robe and padded to the door, opening it just enough to hear. Out of control. Vincent's voice, tight with concern. You're making decisions with your heart instead of your head. That's dangerous. I know what I'm doing. Roman, calm, steady. Do you? Because from where I'm standing, you've gone from running an empire to playing house with a girl you barely know. Don't. Roman's voice dropped to something lethal. Hey, don't reduce her to that. I'm trying to protect you. Falcone's crew is asking questions. Words spreading that you've gone soft, that you're distracted, and when predators smell weakness, let them come. Roman, I said, let them come. Anyone who thinks caring about someone makes me weak is welcome to test that theory. Silence. Then Vincent quieter. You really love her? Yes. Even though it puts a target on both your backs? Especially because of that. She spent her whole life unprotected. That ends now. Luna's chest tightened. She'd known, logically, that being with Roman came with risks, but hearing it laid out, targets, threats, predators, made it terrifyingly real. She was about to retreat when her phone buzzed. Her blood went cold. Eric. She hadn't heard from him since Roman had handled things. The text was simple. We need to talk. It's important. Please, Luna. I'm at Mom's grave. Her mother's grave. The one place Eric knew she couldn't ignore. Luna stared at the message, torn. Roman had told her to stay away from her brother, had paid his debts, drawn a line. But this was Eric, the boy who'd held her hand at their parents' funeral, who'd been her only family even when he was broken. She shouldn't go, but she grabbed her jacket anyway. The cemetery was quiet. Luna walked past familiar headstones, following the path she'd memorized years ago. Her mother's grave sat beneath an oak tree, simple and peaceful. Eric was there, sitting on the ground, looking smaller than she remembered. You came, he said, not turning. You knew I would. Luna stopped a few feet away, wary. What do you want? At Eric? To apologize? She wasn't expecting that. What? He finally looked at her. His eyes were red, sunken, sober. I'm sorry, Luna, for everything. The hitting, the stealing, the years of making you feel like you owed me something. His voice cracked. I blamed you for them dying, for surviving when they didn't, and I punished you for it. Luna's throat burned. Eric, let me finish, please. He stood, hands shaking. Your boss, Roman, he came to see me, paid off my debts. But he also said something that's been eating at me. He said I had a sister who'd give me anything, and all I did was take, that I was killing the one good thing in my life. Tears blurred her vision. You were hurting. We both were. I'm still hurting, but I can't use that as an excuse anymore. I can't keep destroying you to feel better about myself. He stepped closer. I'm checking into rehab. 3 months. Inpatient. I wanted you to know before I went. Luna's knees felt weak. You're serious? I have to be. Because if I don't fix this, fix me, I'm going to lose you forever. And you're all I have left of them, of our family. She wanted to be angry, wanted to protect herself from the hope rising in her chest, but all she felt was exhaustion and a fragile, terrifying relief. I can't promise to be there when you get out, she said quietly. I can't promise to forgive everything. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to let me try. To prove I can be the brother you deserved. Luna looked at her mother's headstone. Beloved mother. Taken too soon. What would she want? For Luna to hold on to anger? Or to give Eric the chance no one had given him? Okay, she whispered. 3 months, get better. Then we'll talk. Eric's face crumpled with relief. Thank you. Luna, thank you. Don't thank me yet. You have to actually do the work. I will, I swear. He moved to hug her, but stopped himself, seeing her flinch. The old Eric would have been angry. This Eric just nodded, understanding. I should go, he said. My ride's waiting. But Luna, that guy, Roman, he really cares about you. I could see it. Don't let my mess ruin that for you. Then he was gone. Luna stood there, alone with her parents' graves in a confused tangle of emotions. She should feel relieved, hopeful. But all she felt was exposed, because she left the estate without telling Roman. And when she turned around, he was there. Roman stood 20 feet away, had Vincent beside him. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes were thunderstorms. Roman, Get in the car. His voice was carefully controlled, dangerously quiet. I can explain. Car. Now. Vincent opened the back door. Luna climbed in, heart hammering. Roman slid in beside her, putting deliberate space between them. The silence during the drive was suffocating. Back at the estate, Roman walked her inside, down the hall, into his study. The door closed with a decisive click. You left. He turned to face her. After everything we talked about, after I told you it was dangerous, You snuck out to meet your brother. He texted about my mother's grave. I couldn't, you couldn't trust me to handle it? His control was cracking. You couldn't wake me up and let me come with you. I didn't want to bother you. Bother me? He laughed bitter. Luna, do you have any idea what went through my head when Vincent told me you were gone? When we tracked your phone to the cemetery and I saw you standing there, completely exposed. I was fine. This time. What about next time? What about when it's not your brother but someone who wants to hurt me through you? He ran his hands through his hair, pacing. I can't protect you if you won't let me. I don't need protection every second of every day. Yes, you do. That's what being with me means. His voice rose. There are people who'd use you to get to me. People who wouldn't hesitate to hurt you just to prove a point. And you waltzed into a cemetery alone like you're not the most important thing in my world? The room went silent. Luna stared at him, chest heaving. The most important thing? Roman stopped pacing. His expression shifted, vulnerable, raw. Yes, don't you get it? I would burn everything I've built if it meant keeping you safe. My empire, my reputation, my life. None of it matters if something happens to you. That's insane. That's love. He stepped closer. And it terrifies me, because I've never had something I couldn't control. But you? I can't control how much I need you. Can't control the fear when you're out of my sight. Can't control the fact that losing you would destroy me. Tears spilled down Luna's cheeks. I'm sorry. I should have told you. Should have let you come with me. I'm not used to having someone care where I go. Get used to it. He closed the distance, hands framing her face. Because I'm not going anywhere. And I need you to stop running when things get hard. I'm scared, she whispered. This morning I heard you and Vincent. The targets. The danger. Roman, I don't want to be the reason you lose everything. You're not. You're the reason I have everything. But listen to me. His forehead pressed against hers. I've spent 20 years building walls, keeping people out, being alone because it was safer than caring. Then you showed up in my library invisible and broken, and something in me recognized something in you. His voice roughened. We're the same, Luna. Both trying to survive in a world that's tried to destroy us. The difference is, we don't have to survive alone anymore. What if I make you weak? You make me human. There's a difference. She sobbed, gripping his shirt. I love you. I'm so in love with you, it scares me. Good. He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips. Be scared with me, but don't run. Promise me you won't run. I promise. And promise me you'll tell me when you're struggling, when you feel like you don't deserve this, when old habits tell you to disappear. I promise, she whispered against his mouth. He kissed her then, deep and claiming, and full of desperate relief. Like he'd been terrified he'd lost her. When they broke apart, Luna said, Eric's going to rehab. 3 months. He apologized. Roman's jaw tightened. Do you believe him? I don't know, but I think he wants to try. And if he doesn't? If he comes back and hurts you again? Then I'll handle it, with you beside me. Something in Roman's expression softened. Together, she agreed. That night, they didn't sleep apart. Roman held Luna close, her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. The windows were open, letting in cool air and distant city sounds. What happens now? Luna asked quietly. Now, we live. We figure out how to merge your world with mine. I teach you that you're worth protecting, and you teach me how to be gentle. That's a lot of teaching. We have time. She tilted her head up. Do we? Really? With everything Vincent said? Vincent worries. It's his job. But I've been in this world long enough to know how to protect what's mine. His hand traced patterns on her back. And you're mine now, Luna. Or if you'll have me. I'm yours, she whispered. But you're mine too. Always. She kissed him, slow and sweet. I never thought I'd have this. Someone who sees me, chooses me, fights for me. Get used to it, because I'm not stopping. Promise? Promise. They fell asleep tangled together, two broken people choosing to heal in each other's arms. 3 months later, Luna stood in front of the mirror, adjusting her dress. Not her maid's uniform. Those were gone. Donated. She wore a simple blue dress, her hair loose, a delicate necklace Roman had given her for her birthday. Behind her, Roman appeared in the mirror, dressed in a suit, devastating in hers. "Ready?" he asked. "Nervous. He's your brother. He wants to see you." "I know, what if he's not better?" Roman turned her around, hands gentle on her shoulders. "Maid, then we deal with it. Together. But Luna, you don't owe him anything. This visit is because you want to see him. Not because you have to." She breathed deep. "Okay, let's go." They drove to the rehab facility, Roman's hand holding hers the entire way. In the visiting room, Eric waited. He looked different, healthier, clear-eyed. When he saw Luna, he stood nervous. "Hi," he said. "Hi." Awkward silence. Then, "You look good. Happy." "I am." Eric glanced at Roman, who stood slightly behind Luna, protective but not overbearing. "Thank you for giving her what I couldn't. Family. Safety." Roman nodded once. "She deserves it." "She does." Eric looked at Luna. "I'm 60 days sober, going to meetings, therapy. I'm trying." "I'm proud of you," Luna said, and meant it. They talked for an hour. Careful, honest. Eric shared his progress, or his struggles, his plans for when he got out. Luna talked about her life, working at the estate in a new role, Roman's partner in more than just love, learning to trust happiness. When visiting hours ended, Eric hugged her. A real hug, gentle and genuine. "I won't let you down again," he promised. "Just focus on not letting yourself down. That's enough." In the car, Luna leaned against Roman, exhausted but lighter. "That went well," he said. "It did." She laced her fingers with his. "Thank you for coming with me." "Always." She looked up at him. "I love you. Have I mentioned that today?" "Only 3 times. Feel free to say it again." She laughed. "I love you, Roman Castellano." "I love you, Luna." He kissed her temple. "My moon. My light. On the best thing that ever happened to me. Even better than your empire? So much better." They drove home as the sun set, painting the sky in golds and pinks. And Luna realized something profound. She wasn't invisible anymore. She wasn't broken. She was loved, protected, valued. She was home. Not because of a place, but because of the man beside her who'd seen her bruises, physical and emotional, and decided she was worth fighting for. "Roman," she said as they pulled into the estate. "Yes? Thank you. For asking, who did this to you? For caring about the answer. For not walking away." He stopped the car, turning to face her fully. "I'll never walk away. You're stuck with me." "Good," she smiled, "because I'm not going anywhere either." He kissed her under the fading light. Tony and Luna felt it, the final piece of her broken heart clicking into place. She'd survived violence, neglect, years of being unseen, but she'd found something stronger than survival. She'd found love, real, fierce, protective love. And for the first time in her life, she believed she deserved it. Thank you for staying with this story to the very end. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you'll not miss out on the next video.